And so what's the advantage of the perovskite solar cell compared to the silicon solar cell when you have them on a rooftop all day?
Well, at morning and evening, when the sun's coming up and the sun's going down, it's outputting more power than silicon. So that's a fundamental feature of the perovskite technology. So I've been in next generation solar R&D for 25 years. I've always wanted to bring a product to the market.
Paul's been involved since the dawn of not just this technology, but even pre-perovskite. So he's the sort of the technical core of this group, I believe it, and has the history. And he also has a practical background. He's the one who sort of brought it to our attention. He found the space. When I first heard about perovskites and Halocell, I did a deep dive and dug out the old physics and went, okay, what is this stuff? How does it work? The more I read and the more I looked into it and the more research I did, the more excited I got, because this technology literally ticks all the boxes for supplying energy. This will be a big part of the future of the energy, on this planet. So this stuff, that's the secret sauce. We can make that, and that's the active ingredient that turns sunlight into electricity.
So I should mention that a perovskite material isn't a single material, but there are tens of thousands of them potentially. It's a class of mineral. What that allows us to tune how it absorbs to any light source whatsoever. So an LED, the sun, obviously, outer space applications, all of a sudden, and because they're lightweight and flexible, the applications for solar just explode. Because of the way this performs, it performs really well at low angles of incidence and low and cloudy weather as well. So it's still generating when silicon solar has gone to bed, so to speak. These drops, these are clouds going over. And as you can see, traditional silicon goes down to about 10% of its output, whereas perovskites only go down to about 50%. So again, more valuable energy output. So we've purposely chosen a partly cloudy day here to test from midday all the way till sunset continuously. And we've tested our perovskite modules versus a traditional silicon panel. Traditional solar cells like silicon, you need cheap energy and cheap labour to produce it. However, the low input cost of the materials involved in perovskites and the way we have chosen to produce them, which is roll-to-roll technology, we've done a lot of modelling that shows that our factory gate costs compared to traditional silicon can be half that. So it is possible.
So this is our enviro chamber. It means we can test our solar cells or punish our solar cells by exposing them to a high temperature and a high humidity. At the moment, the chamber is set at 85 degrees Celsius and 85% humidity. So we would take out this cell and then test at the station.
This will produce electricity under indoor light. And what happens is we test it to produce an IV curve, which is the current it uses at different voltages under, this is 1000 lux, which is typical indoor light. We wanted to produce an IV curve, and depending on how it looks, it will be how much power it can make under that light. So a good result is this curve. You want it to be in this relative shape where it goes out pretty flat and then goes down cliff. And then a really not great result is a straight line, which is, it doesn't work at all. Very happy. This is a great result.
When I started this company, I promised the shareholders I wouldn't turn this into an experiment. Scientists are quite well known starting a startup company, and it can be bogged down in experimentation. You need to focus on the end goal, which is product development, getting that revenue coming through the door. We've got some excellent scientists and engineers, some of the best in Australia, if not the world, working on this technology.
Because the future is and will be printable solar cells. Literally being able to print, kilometers of solar material based on materials that are readily available. We made the decision a number of years ago, two key decisions. One is we don't want to go to head with silica because it's a less understood, less accepted technology. The second thing was we are going to focus on roll-to-roll production. So the bit I like to see is the screen coming out off the roll-to-roll, because the whole idea of doing every step of this is we'll get to where we have full-size roll-to-roll equipment and it'll be a continuous process. This is lab scale, so we're proving each step.
A country that can print banknotes or newspapers can make this technology at low cost. Our company goal, the main one, is deliver a suite of products that can be applied to almost any surface, whether that be an IoT device, every side of a building, including the walls and cladding. For the last 4.5 years, we've been doing product development. We've finally got a product. We're the first company in the world to commercialize perovskite technology with our indoor ambient module, which will power billions of IoT devices and help get rid of environmentally toxic batteries. So this is our first commercial product, and you're able to purchase these off our website. They outperform any indoor PV device that you could buy. And this is designed to charge a lithium-ion battery just using indoor lighting. So think office spaces, hospitals, factories, people's houses.
Remote controls. They sit there all day, you use them occasionally. When you really want to use them, the battery's dead. It's a pain.
We make 7,000 units per year currently. And then we've got a sort of crawl, walk, run strategy to go right up to 70 million units a year using our roll-to-roll production technology. So they'll be affordable compared to anything else on the market, but they will outperform anything else on the market as well. We're getting significant interest from electronics manufacturers.
We've sent it to dozens of other companies that have things like electric shelf labels or just small electronics.
Our second range of products are for drones.
So what's the advantage of these perovskite solar cells when you put it on an aircraft or a drone?
Well, at low angles of incidence, so they perform much better than silicon. So, you know, on an aircraft, you're not going to be orientating always to the north or south in the northern hemisphere, so more stable power, basically.
And also, it's too heavy for this one on the aircraft.
It's too heavy, yes.
I think I'd rather
And this
than-
can form to, because it's flexible and lightweight, it can form to any surface, fuselage, wings.
And they want to be able to fly 24/7. We could actually put it on the underside of the wing, so we can actually get extra energy off the reflected light. And also, drones don't last 20 years, so it fits the lifespan of the tech. Another one that sort of caught me off guard is space applications.
This is one we've produced for satellites.
I didn't realize how big a market this was till we really started looking into it, but it's, tens of thousands of these are going into space for communications, monitoring, for navigation.
And then our third range of products, of course, we apply semi-transparent perovskites on top of existing silicon to boost their efficiency. And that's why we're selecting these product ranges to demonstrate this technology there. So people go, oh, wow, okay, it can do that and can do all these different things. And it just increases the use cases for solar.
Energy is not something that there'll be too much of. Clean energy especially, because as soon as you have a little bit more energy, people want to do a little bit more with their lives. They want to, create new things.
One thing I want to see, I know how important energy is for the modern world.
For me, it's evidence-based. We're proving it. We've had quite a few members out here and shown them what we're doing and shown them this is what we're building, and that we're sending it to other places around the world, and they're liking what they're seeing. We want and need is, let's say, venture capital coming in.
So we've had some good support from state and federal governments in the way of grants. However, the biggest thing to keep us going financially is our shareholders, who are great believers in the technology and they're great believers in the team that we've got here.
This is by far the most exciting thing I've seen technologically, but the way the world's demand for energy is growing, we're looking for a solution. This is as close to an optimum solution. We've really focused on what can we sell? What can we sell now? And that's been finding partners that want to build with us. And we have some product ideas ourselves. So what we've been doing as well is we've been engaging with let's call them prototyping labs. So they have the electronics expertise and the network and the potential partners. And we've said, we have this technology that might be able to help what they're doing and what you're doing. So we're doing more and more engagement with that kind of partner.
And we're getting there. I mean, releasing our first product, even though it's an indoor device, it's just so relieving, really.
I've been involved in probably 20 companies over my life. This is the one I'm most excited about. It literally has the potential to change the world. I mean, it's just so exciting.
We would expect to see perovskite solar almost everywhere.